first of all, could you explain a little bit about the implementation with Thomson Reuters and perhaps with CNBC and what you've done with them and the opportunities for other media companies?
Sure. I mean, as background, the company spun out of BBN Technologies with BBN's rich speech-to-text, natural language processing, and search technologies that had been developed for government applications around national security. So that was the technology that we were born with. We took that technology and have been steadily building a complete solution around it, facing large media companies and addressing the challenges they have. Specifically, they're faced with increasing audience fragmentation and also the deconstruction of the content they produce. It used to be that you'd consume a complete magazine, a complete newspaper, listen to a complete program. The web has made it possible for users to deconstruct all of that and consume just the pieces that they're interested in. That's created a lot of pressure for media companies who now need to figure out how to be sure that their content is consumed in the right context, that their brand is protected, and that they can monetize that content effectively. So in the case of Thomson Reuters and CNBC, who are two of our large customers, they use this technology to basically add to their workflow, process all of their, in this case, video content through our workflow, richly attribute it with timestamped transcripts, automatic tagging, and in the case of CNBC, we actually translate those transcripts into ticker symbols, stock ticker symbols. So all of their video comes out the other side with all of the ticker symbols marked up for the companies discussed in that particular video. That then helps them be much more effective at their syndication strategies.
But how do you put in the automated hyperlinks into the text? That's pretty awesome. How does that work?
Yeah, so that's all part of the overall workflow solution that we have as part of this new content optimization platform. So using our natural language processing technology, we have a rule engine that a customer can configure almost any way they want, almost infinitely, to mark up the content in specialized ways. In the case of CNBC, they create stock tickers from the transcripts using a rule engine to do that. So that's an example of how this workflow adds value along the process to make that content more discoverable and thus a bigger business for CNBC.
Great. So now you're getting in the marketplace. How do you see this as a solution to media companies in a sort of in terms of like what they have to do in terms of making their data more available either on their own site or in a syndication strategy? How do you help them?
That's right. I mean, the big challenge they have right now is how do I make my content more discoverable and out on the web? And that's the search economy, that's Google, Bing, et cetera, social media, Facebook. And then how do I improve engagement once people are on my site? And the big challenge is all this content exists, but it doesn't exist in a way that is normalized. It can't be easily accessed or discovered because the metadata is either missing or it's inadequate or inaccurate. Social tagging has been one approach to that, but it's sort of an incomplete approach. Editorial tagging has been an approach to this, but again, resource constraints mean that most content objects that a publisher is producing don't have enough tags to really make the content findable out on the web and on the particular site of a content producer. If they can solve those two things, they really unlock the opportunity to build audience and thus build a bigger business. Yeah, one of the key things that we decided early on was that we weren't going to be a forklift strategy. So we were going to make sure we were compatible with our customers' existing infrastructure. And so we have deals with, on the video CMS side, the platform at Brightcove, on the in-stream ad side with Yumi, and we've done implementations with movable type and WordPress and Drupal implementations. So our technology is very compatible with the existing infrastructure our customers usually have. In the case of Brightcove, as an example, we're able to marry this rich metadata we can produce across a customer's video collection into the user experience, either through our Chromeless video player, and that sits on top of the Brightcove backend, or by marrying our metadata with a Brightcove experience using a Beaml component, which is Brightcove's sort of plug-in component environment. So we've done both those things. Any company now looking to do major brand type marketing needs to be thinking about how to make their message discoverable out where people are having the conversation. So it's no longer about making sure that people necessarily just come back to your website. You need to think about that and making that an engaging experience, but also make sure your content is out there findable, not just through search engine optimization, but through social media, et cetera. To do that, you need to really richly wrap all of your content so that it can be intelligently indexed and published and syndicated out into the web where people are out discussing it and searching for it, whether it's on a Facebook or in a major search engine. I think that applies beyond just media companies. In fact, I'd argue that all companies, all large companies now are media companies. You have to be. Even if you're a B2B manufacturer, you need to be a media company because that's how marketing is going to take place now and into the future.